What's going on, everybody? Zachary and Jeffrey here. We're sitting actually on my property that is being cleared to build a house. We're staring at a beautiful sunset that you can't necessarily see. Maybe we'll put a picture of it up. And there it is. We're excited to sit out here on our front porch and look at this view every night. Wake up, watch the sun rise.
By Thanksgiving.
By Thanksgiving. That's what we're believing, by Thanksgiving. Right now they've got all the trees cut. They've got the dozer coming to level some land next week, and we're going to be laying some block for the foundation, which is going to be great. All right, we're going to move into a segment where we talk about what a dad or a father should be, because there's a lot of hot topic things that we can talk about.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, so don't get me wrong. Like, there are a lot of strong women out there that can successfully raise children, right?
Mm-hmm.
With
100%.
And so we're not neglecting any of that, but the role of a father in a person's life is just monumental to what they could grow up to be.
Mm-hmm.
I do truly believe that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Young men and young ladies.
Yes.
For sons and daughters.
Sons and daughters. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't mean to leave.
Yep. And number one, and this just plays right into what we want to develop in this culture, is a father is a defender.
Yep.
Is a protector, is someone who is the front lines of their family, spiritually, physically,
mm-hmm.
emotionally,
mm-hmm.
financially, all the lees. Is the father comes first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the father of a family, or the father of a let's just call it a unit of people, right? Whether that is a family, or an extended family, or a father who is unfortunately is a single father now. They're the front lines, and they need to, first and foremost, be spiritually fit.
Yep.
In order to lead. Because if you are not spiritually fit in order to lead, then you are not going to lead at all. You're going to drop the ball on all fronts, period.
Right. Because if you're not spiritually fit to lead, then you're not leading your family by what Christ has created the family to be like. You're not leading them, like if you're not reading the Bible by yourself, or reading the Bible with your family, going to church functions with your family, they're not getting fed what they need to be fed to have a relationship with Christ. Mm-hmm. So that is, number one, the biggest ball drop that you could have ever.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest things is praying with your wife, with your spouse, and with your children.
With your family. Yeah. And doing Bible studies with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that is created by you and your wife, or that's you, there's so many other things you can look at or get from so many resources out there.
Yeah.
And just do a Bible study with them.
And talking about spiritual things. Like when you're driving down the road, talking about it. When you're laying in bed, talking about it. When you're putting your kid to bed, talking about it with them. Mm-hmm. Doing just conversational type things on top of all the other things like that you might call more formal, like Bible studies or things like that. And one thing that like, I'll just speak for my wife, really, really dislikes is formal Bible studies as a family.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it can get,
it gets a little, she thinks it's awkward.
Yeah. I can see where that could be 100%. And it is, but just sitting down like you guys do and just talking spiritually.
Because we do that all the time. Don't get me wrong. We do that all the time.
But just saying, okay, now let's open up to this. What do you think about that?
Right.
Is
like we're gonna read out
it's
of
not real conversations.
Zechariah 5 today.
Right. It's not real conversations, and you don't connect with the word, and you don't connect with each other because of the quote unquote awkwardness of what it could be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So having the real conversations led by the word, but having the conversations face to face and everything like that is
But if
massive.
I'm reading out of Zechariah 5 and I get something, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I want to go tell that.
Yeah.
And that develops a culture of spiritual fitness in your family, and it enables you to lead them as a father spiritually.
Yeah. And then, so another huge thing is like, just speaking from our own childhoods is, if you're driving in the car or even sitting in the garage, a huge part of our childhood was Adventures in Odessey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's what, quick 20-30 minute episodes, but they are spiritually based.
Yep.
I don't want to say cartoon, because it's on the radio.
There's a cartoon, like a TV cartoon that goes along with it. For some period of time they did that, but it was a syndicated radio show from Focus on the Family.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
So if you have families, or if you don't, I listen to them all the time by myself just because I was raising it, and it's so good. And long car trips, Dad would still put them on if I'm there, and it's just so good. And that's just another way to lead your family and saying, hey, you don't have to listen to this music that's going on all the time. You don't have to listen to all this stuff that's being pushed through media or music.
Right, and you don't have to watch what the junk that's on TV. Here's some alternatives, and that's what we want to do.
That is super good.
Yep. That's what we want to. We want to provide you with resources. So we'll link some Adventures in Odessey stuff on our website.
And then
defender.today, so you can check that out.
We'll also push out some just good old wholesome family, like TV shows, books, book series, to read with you and your kids. That, as me, like when I go back and read them now, I still enjoy them thoroughly. You know, so it's brings out the kid in you a little bit. It takes you back. So
it does.
But
and being spiritually fit, it kind of overarches the rest of the fitness.
The other leads that you need.
Yeah. Emotionally, if you're spiritually fit, you're going to be emotionally stable. The Bible says that a double-minded man is unstable. So if we are single-minded on Christ and we're spiritually fit, our emotions are going to be in check because we're keeping them in check. We're not to be led by our emotions,
which is huge in leading anything. Like,
and if you're if you're letting your emotions lead, you can get out of control, whether it's anger or finances or any other emotion. You can shift atmosphere in your household in a moment, in a negative way. If you are not, if you are being led by your emotions and you are not leading with your spirit, and you're letting your emotions lead you, then you will shift the atmosphere in your house in an instant. But flip that the other way. If things are out of control in your house and you're spiritually fit and you're actually like listening for the Lord, for the Holy Spirit to speak to your heart for wisdom in that moment, you can say one thing and then bam, it's calm.
That peace and that calm that makes no sense. Which is huge. And let me preface all of this. I am not a father. I'm not. But just seeing fathers and being around you as a father, Dad, Mike, everybody that I know basically and hang out with except for Steven is a father. So I'm around them constantly, and
You're not a father yet.
And I see the differences of people who are following Christ and that are not. And just the you look at them and you're like, they can be in the exact same situation as somebody else, and it's just the calmness, the confidence, the confidence in that they will get through. Is like, if you sit back and just look and you're like, how do they have that? And the answer is just their spiritual walk. Is which, if you're going through something, that just deepens that. You just have that trust in God, faith in God that builds.
And it all encompasses like if we're if we're spiritually fit, we're connecting with our spouses, we're connecting with our children, we're connecting with those around us in a proper way, and it allows us to it allows us to be engaged in our family and not absent and aloof.
Right. Yep.
And
doing whatever is going on in your mind.
Like we get home and we play video games, or we get home and we just throw everything down and we just go watch TV for the rest of the night. But no, like, that's not what we're talking. That's not a dad. That's not a father. That's not somebody who is. That's somebody who is physically present but is not present. They're not edifying the family. They're not leading their family. They're being selfish, and they're vegging out on whatever their gig is, and they're not actually being involved.
Yeah, leading. So leading and providing for a family is not just making a paycheck and then having the wife do everything else, and you just sitting there, You're like, 100%. Oh, I just worked all day. That is not. That is maybe giving them money. But providing for a family is all the other aspects, like you said, emotionally, physically, just face-to-face contact, playing with them, spending time with them, helping, eating with them, helping make things with your wife, helping bake things if that's what she loves to do, playing with your kids, doing everything that will make their day. Yeah. Not just being sitting there. Yeah. Which is big.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard to do all the things because I have a full-time job. I am super involved in our local church. I do a couple other things. I am trying my hardest to be physically fit at the top of my fitness. And it takes time. There's times, but and I'm learning this as I go along because I've recently added the physical fitness aspect to being a protector, being the defender of my family. It takes time, but you have to learn how to prioritize. And for us that looks like getting up a little early and going and working out most days. And now that I'm a school teacher by trade, so we're in the summertime. It's a little bit more flexible, but what I'm learning is a deeper level of prioritization in my life as a dad. So that's a deep. We could talk about this for a long time.
A long time. Yeah.
But because it's Father's Day. And this is a Father's Day Defender.today podcast. Let's take a little bit and talk about our dad.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
And hopefully that will encourage people to sit down as families and talk about their loved ones. Not just dads, but moms too.
Yeah. They're leaders in their family, people that they look up to, role models. Yeah. Everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
that. All right, let's move into that segment. We're brothers, so we know that our dad's watching. Happy Father's Day, Dad. Let's just share our favorite memory about Dad.
Our favorite?
Oh, put you on the spot.
I had a couple of mine. I don't know a favorite.
All right, go with one.
I don't know, to be honest. So I think that the older I get, the more that I connect with Dad. So, and he is just goofy as all get out. So
he's goofier than we realize.
Oh, he's goofier than it's sharp as a tack, but goofy as I could be.
Yeah.
So I think my favorite moment is the parlor donut incident. So Dad's a very big donut man. I mean, loves donuts. And we were driving home from a competition that we're involved in, and we woke up. It was just me and him. We were driving back from Texas, so across country. We were driving home. We woke up one morning, and the lady who was in charge of the breakfast wasn't there, and he was kind of bummed. He came back to the room. He's like, there's no breakfast this morning. I said, all right, well, we'll get it on the way. That's all right. So we got in the car, and we looked across the way, and there was a donut shop there. And so we pulled up, and it was a drive-through, and I go, are you going to go through the drive-through or what? He goes, no, you got to see the donuts. You got to see what you're getting. So I was like, oh, all right. So we walk in there, and he was kind of poking fun at it. And then we get in there, and there is like 80 kinds of donuts you could get. It was crazy. But he just got the glazed donuts. And then we walked out, and I got something like chocolatey or something. So we walk out there, and he takes one bite and just makes like a noise. And I was like, what in the world? And he looked at me and didn't say a word for 10 minutes. And then looked at me while he was driving. He goes, this is the best donut ever. And I like took me by surprise. I look at him and he was driving, he snaps his head, he goes, ever. And I was like, oh my Lantas, that just spoke a lot. But yeah.
That's
part
funny.
of my favorite moments.
That's funny. I think my moment is not going to be as humorous as yours.
Yeah.
But so when we were little, Dad used to do all this tech camps. So my dad and I were at the Garrett County Visitor Center doing a tech camp. Now I was young, so I was kind of like involved but not involved. I was just kind of there because I wanted to be there. And the tech camp people were kind of like the goers, the people that came to tech camp were kind of they were kind of busy, and Dad said, hey, they want a flagpole made from Lego for the visitor center, and it's going to stay up for a little while. And so him and I built this like 8 to 10 foot flagpole. I forget how tall it actually was. It took a flag up and down. It was really, really cool. But it's just stuff like that that I remember that made such a big impact on me, that like you can just do cool things and make cool things and just to do that with Dad was really, really
his
cool.
ability to make something out of nothing, especially Legos, but like out of nothing, is just ridiculous.
It's uncanny. Like, it really is.
It really, really is. Like the one time I walked out into the garage, and he made like one of the planes that hang from the ceiling that spins around. And so he wanted to see how much weight it carried or something like that. So he stole Mom's purse. And
I think I remember
and hooked it to the plane. And I walk out there, and he's just sitting there looking up, watching this thing fly around with her purse. And I walk out there, I open up the door, and he like turns his head, he goes, don't tell your mother. And I was like, what in the world? But yeah.
That's funny.
But no. So I'll ask you, what is like one of the best favorite lessons that you learned from him throughout the years?
Man. I've watched Dad in a number of situations, and I think what has impacted me the most about him is because I've learned a lot watching what to do and some things what not to do, right?
Yeah, we're yeah.
But I've watched him engage with people of all ages, and I think that has helped me as an adult be able to realize that connections are important, whether it's little connections or big connections. And I've never really even talked to Dad about this either, so this is
genuine connections. Genuine connections,
like in the moment, not just like long-term connections, but genuine connections, and what those genuine connections in the moment, taking the opportunity to actually connect with somebody can yield.
Yeah, it's crazy in that person's life and everything like that. And it's I mean, Steve and I have talked about this all the time. Like, everybody knows Dad through something that he's done for them or the community. Yeah. Like, it's not like, and Dad doesn't know. Dad doesn't know how many people know him or what he's done. Right. Like, he just has that's just how he lives. Like, it's just like a genuine, like, oh yeah, I can do that for you. Or hey, let me talk to you about this. When maybe somebody is like, just need somebody to talk to about anything in their life, and dad's there either helping them or talking to them, and it's like it does make a huge impact on them. And none of them have ever been, I've never heard anything, obviously, 'cause nobody would tell you if it's your dad, but like it's a small town, people word would get around. Nobody has said anything bad about his connections or his interactions with anybody. Which is impressive. Yeah. So mine kind of goes along with that a little bit. So mine is, if always serves service. So like if you think like your life is hard, go do something for somebody else. Just anything. Just go do something for somebody, and then you will realize like, oh, God still got me. I'm still able to do stuff for people. I'm still able here to carry out whatever his mission is for me. Like he's part of the original people at the church, right? He's on the board and everything like that, but yet he works in the parking lot. Genuinely loves serving people. Like makes the airplane like, follow me. If the big turn, he'll go in. Like genuinely loves it. Like he never wants to seek publicity or popularity, but he just wants to serve people. And I think that's been he's like, if you're ever feeling bad about something you've done, or like you feel like life's getting you down or whatever, just go serve. I don't want to say serve somebody in the aspect of like we're serving God, but like provide a service for somebody. You know what I'm saying?
And in times that is, providing a service
in a godly way. Which is his always his, that's what he means by that. Like, hey, go do something for somebody else in a godly way. That's like brings you back to God. And
what's the verse that says, if you knew who I was, you would give me a drink. He's talking to the woman at the well, right? But Jesus is talking to the woman at the well. But we look at the what Paul said, like he's a servant to all. The Apostle Paul said he was a servant to all. And when I think about that, that's how Dad has modeled his life. And that's how I want to model my life. And I know the other fathers in my life, my father-in-law is the same way. He has modeled his life to be a servant of the Lord and a servant of people, and to serve people. And I think that that's a big cultural unnorm now. It used to be a cultural norm. But it's a cultural unnorm now, where people are so selfish and they're so shut off to the outside world, and they're like, no, I don't want any of this.
What can I get from these people?
Like I want, instead of I give. And there's a point like where we have to say, okay, I've given, and now I need recharge, right? But at the same time, like that should, the way that I look at that is like, I give and I serve and I serve and I give, but like when I sit down at the end of the day, I get to sit down with my wife and my daughter, and spend time, and that's recharging. Even spending time with just my entire family, just sitting down and being together, that's recharging. Or going and shooting, or going and fishing, or whatever. That's recharging. But and I think that even this conversation is challenging me to just triple check for ways that I can serve the people around me, and intentionally connect with them and open doors for conversation, to speak into their lives, or listen for what the Lord is telling me to speak into their life. Listen for like a word of knowledge or a word of wisdom or something to be able to serve the Lord while serving them.
That's good. So I've even looked at it like the whole connection thing is like, since I've been back, like deeper, more meaningful connections into like actually like instead of doing a whole bunch of things at once. Like, so in my like walk with God, yes, serve him by doing things for others, right? And like, but then and making connections through that. But then in like your home life, right? Those connections, then your rewind time is putting kind of like not putting that aside, but putting that aside to actually make those connections, deep connections with your family, which is your recharge time, which is awesome, because then it's like it is like just a breath of fresh air, and you know what I mean. So it's
it's awesome,
which is good.
Well, I hope you, and I know that Jeffrey, we hope that you enjoyed hearing us talk about our dad, and it challenged you to think about a father or a father figure in your life and how they have impacted you in a positive way. If you're listening to this and you don't have that positive father figure in your life, you know, my father-in-law, who is also my pastor, always says it's never too late to have a happy childhood. Like you can go find somebody, even if they're younger than you, that is a little, that you can look at like a father figure where you glean wisdom from, where you glean conversation with, and you learn from, and you connect with, and it's never too late to have that happy childhood that you can, connect with somebody in your life with, in a father son, mentor, mentee, coach.
That could be with anything. Like obviously the most important one I would say is like a spiritual father. Like find somebody plugged in your church, or if you don't go to church, find somebody that you know is plugged into a church, and just hang out with them, whether that be going to shoot with them, going fishing with them, playing a board game with them,
watching a cool TV show,
watching a cool TV show, finding something in common that you guys can bond over, that you're plugged into somebody who is plugged into Christ. Because that is the big one. And then the other one is you already have that, then just go out and do things, be in community with those people, so then life lessons can just flow into your life, just through anything. Which is great to do. Like, go out and have coffee, go have breakfast, and then conversations just flow from that, because you'll bump into people or see people, or you'll talk about life, and then they'll have the wisdom to say, well, this is what I've experienced as well, and then pull from the Bible, obviously, like what should you do from this, because there's plenty of examples in the Bible of things like that. So.
Well, I hope we encourage you. We hope you're gonna go tell somebody that is a father to you how much you appreciate them, how much they mean to you, and do something nice for them Father's Day. I know you're probably watching this after Father's Day, but whatever. There's going to be another one next year. So
every day is a good day to say thanks to your dad.
Is that Kane song?
Every day I'm a child of God. That one?
Yeah. Every day. It's a good day. So do it. See you in the next episode.